And we hope you're having a fantastic Easter Sunday and Easter weekend. Welcome to the Pregame Show here on OSN. Lever Sage, Zach McGibbon, who decided that the palatial estates of the OSN studios were not going to be his home all weekend long. So he's decided to participate in a different way, but nice to have you back. Zach, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Versage. Am I the lone person that has now done some variation of the pregame or postgame in 3 different locations? Because I do it from my spot. I've done it now, obviously, at the Palatial Estates in Ashton yesterday, and now here at the super secret headquarters in Ottawa. I mean, this is quite. No matter where, if you need me, you ring up my phone and you say, look, I need you for the pregame show. I'm here. I'm going to drop down, bad lighting and all. I'm here.
You know what? That's all we can ask and more. The bat phone is always on with Zach McGibbon. Lots to talk about. Crazy. You know, you and I spent yesterday afternoon together. I almost spilled my orange juice. I've given the people a wide shot of the studio here today. Really, because I, tired of them seeing my ugly face. So we can see if I can back it up a little bit. But I just thought, you give a different look. MVB is in, says Happy Easter. Thank you very much, Marcus. Happy Easter back to you. And I can tell you, Marcus, that you will be a happy camper because not only has another edition of This Is Wrestling just been released, but I would say 3 premier, unbelievable, eccentric versions of This Is Wrestling in the hopper here to be released at some point soon. Would you say, Zach?
Not a great showing for me on one of them.
Oh, don't, Zach, don't give it away. Okay. Actually, it's a fantastic showing. It depends how you look at it.
That's true. That's true.
Your point of view, my point of view. But lots to talk about. So let's start with the Ottawa Senators before we get to the next firing, because every day there's a new head coach fired and somebody hired in the National Hockey League. But coming off a fairly disappointing 4-1 victory for the Minnesota Wild over the Ottawa Senators, they come back at it. They got the Carolina Hurricanes, and they're going to go with the exact same lineup. I'm happy about that Linus Ullmark is going to be back in the goal against Carolina. I thought he should. Didn't understand this Ryan Minister stuff on the back-to-back. But, Zach, they need a win here. They're getting a ton of help from the out-of-town scoreboard. An incredible day for the Senators yesterday, other than the game that they played.
Yes, of course.
But I mean, everyone lost around them that they needed to lose, and the losing keeps going today. Detroit lost again this afternoon, 5-4 to the Minnesota Wild. So they could really help themselves here with a win, but they're getting a ton of help, Zach, but they got to put it together on the ice against Carolina. It's going to be a tough one here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. The thing with the Sens is that they've got to come out to a much hotter start than they did yesterday. It really just seemed like they never clicked into another gear during the game yesterday, and you can't do that against that Wild team, and this is a better team in Carolina that's coming in. While, yes, as we were talking about yesterday, there's a much shorter turnaround for Carolina coming in. This is still a really strong hockey team, and I am glad, too, that they are sticking with Ullmark. I think they need him to be in the net for this game this afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well, hold on. This is one of those cilantro arguments. Is it afternoon or evening, Zach?
Well, usually when I do a 5 o'clock newscast, I say good afternoon. That's what I'm told to say. So I'm going to say it's an afternoon.
You hear that, Tanner? You hear that, everyone else? It's 5 o'clock. It's the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's gorgeous. Well, I wouldn't say gorgeous, but there's lots of light outside. It's not the evening. Come on. Now, you want to talk to me on December 21st, 5 o'clock? It's been dark for 45 minutes already. I can be talked into that 5 o'clock's evening, but not now.
Not now.
No.
I was going to say, is it something that's ever flowing? Like, depending on the month, maybe you would say it's an evening if it's 5 o'clock. Is it locked in at afternoon no matter what,
No,
even if there's sun or dark?
Like I said, I'm willing to hear the point. There's probably, I would say, 2 months of the year that 5 o'clock, it is dark. Like, it is not like kind of dark or getting dark. It's dark.
Right.
So I can listen to an evening argument at that point. But if there to me is like a shred of light outside, no. It's late afternoon. So a late afternoon game here in Ottawa. We mentioned Linus Ullmark. I read earlier this afternoon, incredibly, looking for his 25th win of the year, 50th win all time as a Senator. Zach, only 7 goalies have won 50 games as an Ottawa Senator.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
You want me to list them off?
No, of course. Don't re-ask me the question to buy yourself some time. You're not getting that stuff past me. Let's go. Come on. You know this stuff.
Yeah. I feel like Hasek was around long enough to get to 50.
He was not.
He was not. Okay.
No. Like 50
Ray
games.
Emery, Craig Anderson.
Ray Emery, Craig Anderson. Craig Anderson, number 1 with 202. Ray Emery got 71, number 4 on the list.
There you go. Is Pascal Leclerc on that list?
Pascal Leclerc is not.
No. I thought maybe he would sneak his way in.
Oh, boy. I forgot. You know what? Zach reminds me, folks, that I'm talking to somebody much younger than me sometimes. Come on.
Martin Gerber on the list.
Martin Gerber has 49, tied with Linus Ullmark right now.
Darn.
You should come on. Who's the argument of the best goalie of all time? There's Craig Anderson and the other guy.
Oh, I mean, I just said Patrick Lalime. I think he's in there.
Yeah. Patrick Lalime is number 2. That's like not even close. 146.
Yeah.
Now it starts to get a little bit dicey. I'm just going to give you the rest because I feel like we could be here a long time. Ron Tugnut at 72.
There you go.
Ray Emery, 71. Damian Rhodes.
Oh, okay.
65. How about a sneaky Anton Forsberg at 62?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And at number 7, didn't go well for him here, but he left and it went okay for him after that. Brian Elliott comes in.
Oh, yeah. Brian Elliott makes sense.
With 59. And then Gerber and Ullmark tied with 49. So Ullmark could get into that conversation today. And look, Carolina comes at you in waves. They've got a lot of firepower and they shoot the puck a lot. They have the puck a lot. They fire a lot of pucks to the net. And, Ottawa's going to have to be very, very wary of that. We said no lineup changes. The guy I'll be looking at today for sure is Jake Sanderson to see how he recovers, playing almost 25 minutes yesterday. How does he manage a back-to-back? I'm sure sore after yesterday. Has to be.
Oh, yeah. I that's another guy I'm looking at too. Just as you mentioned, back-to-back, but also he's going to log up a lot of minutes again. And can he step up his game here against a really strong Carolina team? He's somebody that as well I'll be looking at to just see, okay, can he make this? Is this something where he's clearly hiding an injury, or he's not 100%, he's more 80%, but they're trying to bring him out there because the defense core just continues to drop like flies in terms of injuries. So yeah, Sanderson's going to be another one to kind of keep an eye on for sure.
So let's get to some of the news of the day. Crazy. Patrick Waugh fired by the New York Islanders. They have 4 games left. 4. And depending on what happens today, the New York Islanders could be out of a playoff spot. but they replace Patrick Waugh with Peter DeBoer. They have 4 games left, and they would have to look at. It's a really interesting time with 4 games left. They have a huge gap right now. They don't play again until Thursday. So they played yesterday and lost to the same Carolina Hurricanes team by a score of 4-3. They've lost 4 in a row. So they have 4 games left. They don't play till next Thursday. Those 4 games are all at home for the New York Islanders. And here's the list: the Maple Leafs, Ottawa, Montreal, and Carolina. I don't know how much those games will mean to Montreal and Carolina. They might mean something for position. But for the Islanders, I think they feel like they got to run the table here to make the playoffs. They're at least going to have to go 3-1, or they're not going to make it. Because, yes, they're in 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division as we speak with 89 points. But they only have 4 games left, like we mentioned. And they don't play again until Thursday. Meanwhile, right now, the Philadelphia Flyers leading the Boston Bruins by a score of 1-0 after 1 period of play. And if Philadelphia wins that game, they will move ahead of the New York Islanders. The Islanders will fall down temporarily into the 2nd wildcard spot. But if Ottawa beats Carolina, the Islanders will be on the outside looking in. And, another big loss by Detroit today, 5-4, keeps them at 88 points. Again, sneaky, the Washington Capitals. Not out of it yet. They had a big win yesterday. They got 5 games left. They have 87 points, just 1 back of that group. Senators, Flyers, Red Wings, and Jackets with the Islanders, just 2 back. So can't count the Washington Capitals out. But what did you make of the news? I saw the tweet from somebody in Columbus saying that Rick Bowness is the 28th longest tenured coach in the National Hockey League. Kind of poking fun at the fact that, he took over a couple of months ago, and there's been 2 more coaches fired since.
Yeah.
4 games to go. We've seen Zach, I think, plenty of time. New Jersey's done it a couple of times. I've mentioned it. In 2000, they fired Robbie Ftork. Larry Robinson got on the bench with 8 games to go. They won the Stanley Cup that year. It's the same 8-game mark that the Vegas Golden Knights used to fire Bruce Cassidy, hire John Tortorella to get them going. But 4 games to go. They've lost 4 in a row, and they look a little disengaged, but man, oh man, what a time to do it. Patrick Waugh fired, Pete DeBoer hired on Long Island.
Yeah, that took me by surprise when I saw it announced. It was really just, as you mentioned, with 4 games left. With the Vegas one, it was like they were in a playoff spot, but they were underachieving. And we know the reputation that the Golden Knights have of they have to go in there and like, if winning is everything in Vegas, and if you're not meeting that standard, we're going to let you go no matter what you've done for us in the past. So while the Vegas one, it was surprising when it happened and Torts coming in, it was also very much a Vegas Golden Knights move, and you could at least, see where the thought process was. This one just took me by surprise in the sense that it was so short away. And as we speak, obviously things could change by the end of the day, but they're in a playoff spot. They're 3rd in the Metropolitan. And you look at this roster that the Islanders have, and reading some of the reactions as well, it seemed like from the Islanders fan base that they were in on Waugh, what he was able to do with the roster acquired, because obviously they have Sorokin and they've got, Matthew Schaefer's having an unbelievable rookie season and other talented guys, but not something that if you're an Islanders fan, you're thinking that they would be in this spot a few months ago. So this is definitely surprising that they would make this move. This is clearly something's not meshing, whether it be maybe there's other things, and this is me purely speculating here, like maybe like something's not going on right in the locker room, and like, because Waugh has that sort of personality, right, where it could be something where players may not be able to respond as strong to him because of the way that he carries himself sometimes, that we've known throughout his career. but still surprising that they would make this move at this point. I thought this would be something that I certainly thought Waugh was going to be finishing the year as the coach of the Islanders, and maybe they make this move in the offseason. But when you have a guy like Pete DeBoer out there, I guess make the move now if that's the coach that you want.
Yeah. And that's probably, it's a combination of, it looked like he's lost the guys. The last 4 games have not been good for the New York Islanders. They aren't playing great defense. They're not doing a lot of good things. And then if you're thinking, well, even if we make the playoffs, we're probably not going to do well. Are we thinking about changing the coach? Yes. Pete DeBoer's there. He might be gone by the time that we want to go get him. We think he's a good coach. And the other thing too is that, look, there's 4 games to go, and this will be a new coach bump for sure. I'll guarantee you by the time they play Thursday again, they'll be out of a playoff spot. So it'll be up to them to be able to win their last 4 games and see, what happens. But that's bad news for the Ottawa Senators, right? Because that kind of looked like a team that maybe they've just kind of quit and they're going to play out the season and they're not going to do well, and maybe they'll make changes in the offseason. But the other thing too is that when you make a deal and you go out and get Braden Shen like they did from St. Louis, you've told your guys that you're all in. You're not going to quit now. And if Patrick Waugh is not the guy that is going to turn it around and you're convinced of that, I actually admire this. 4 games to go. There'll be a little bit of a push to see if they can get in. I don't know how far back they will be, but they're not going to be in a playoff spot. There's too much time and too many games in between here for teams to play. So they're going to have to run the table to me and see if they can do it. And they got Ottawa the second game. But the other thing too is when I mentioned the time, yeah, it's not ideal, but if Pete DeBoer is in today, you have the rest of today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning to at least get the group back and refocused on the last 4 games of the year, right? Like in this crazy compact schedule, there's actually a massive gap of time. Like you're at home right now, all the rest of your games that are at home, you're not traveling, and you kind of look at it to go, we're going to have a mini training camp, a mini kind of refocus, and we got to go out and win 4 hockey games. Kind of like the playoffs to get there. So really interesting move from the New York Islanders. PJ in North Gore here says, I'm feeling confident in the Sens. Go Sens, go. I would ask you why, PJ, before you make that statement, but I appreciate your enthusiasm and momentum. Zach, I have no idea what Ottawa Senators team is going to play today. Like, I just, a real lack of effort on some of the goals, especially like I went back and watched that Brady Tkachuk gaff again. And it was every time I watch it, it's more embarrassing. And you just don't know how somebody can be like that in a game that's so important down the stretch. They still have Jake Sanderson, yes. But after that, gets pretty thin, pretty quick. I would imagine that they're going to try to, like, a lot of the goals yesterday. You had the Jordan Spence giveaway. You had the, like, insanely bad. Nobody goes to Jake Middleton. Same thing, really, on the first Ryan Hartman goal to allow him to go in because Brady's behind him and a whole bunch of other people are behind him. So it was more mistakes than great plays by the Minnesota Wild, but then Minnesota didn't give Ottawa anything, and Ottawa could not fight through, right? So it's I don't know if they will sort of batten down the hatches and try and play a real defensive game against Carolina. The problem is even if you do that and you get down, even by a goal, Carolina's got the puck all the time and they come at you in waves, and now you've kind of locked in defensively. Now you got to turn it all around and probably play a little bit different. So I don't know how they're going to approach this game. It's a really interesting game from a tactical point of view, because I'm not sure from Ottawa's perspective how they would handle it. What about you? How do you think they're going to go about it?
Well, I think in the case of Carolina, they have that offensive firepower that they could utilize. So I think we've seen in the past with the Sens how they've been able to shut down some of these teams and limit their shots. I think they're going to have to try and go back to that playbook a little bit. It doesn't seem like that. Obviously, they only scored the one goal yesterday. They'll have to, really. One of the things I'm also kind of keeping an eye on, making sure that if you're the Ottawa Senators, that you get out of. Don't give Carolina any sort of power play opportunities here, because that was also a real big killer for them. Some of the, even going back to the Buffalo game. So I think if you're Ottawa, it does have to kind of, we were kind of making fun of when it came to the keys of the game yesterday. It's like stick to the game plan, right? And it's very easy to say.
What does that tell you? Like, what game plan? Like, what is the game plan? Tell me what the game plan is if you're going to stick to it.
Yes, stick to the game plan. All right, I guess they'll stick to the game plan. But in this case, they gotta try and harken back to, because one of the things that the Sens outshot the Wild, but the Wild were still able to get in their 20 to 25 shots. And so if they're able to get back to that strategy of being able to keep their guys on the outside and limit some of the shots in front, because that was also one of the things too yesterday, is that all the space that was given up to a lot of the Wild shooters yesterday, like just being able to walk in, especially in the slot, it's like you've got to shut that down and not let them be able to just easily come in. So if they're able to keep Carolina to the outside and limit that, I think that will certainly help them for this hockey game.
Yeah, and then look, the puck skipped on Ullmark on that first goal, but it's still a bad rebound, and you can't allow the big rebounds to Carolina, because that's what they love to do. They love to shuffle the puck towards the net and then, kind of jam the net and look for it. The other thing to remember here for Carolina, and we could be looking at a first round playoff matchup here, that the Carolina Hurricanes are 2 points up on the Tampa Bay Lightning, 4 points up on the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Montreal has clinched a playoff spot. And in fact, they have kind of leapfrogged. The word's leapfrogged, right? Not leapfrog.
Yeah, it's leapfrog. Not leapfrog. I think that's. I don't think that's a word that exists.
Well, first of all, I make up words, so that happens all the time.
You haven't learned that lesson too.
Yeah. Second of all, I always do default to, the word "lee's" in it. So leapfrog. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You got to stick to the branding. I get it. It's all about branding nowadays. So if you're able to find the Lee in a lot of stuff, not a lot of stuff where you could find Zach in words. It's a very unique sort of name in that sense. But the Lee, like, there's different ways that you can incorporate it. So I understand.
That's the exact point I was trying to make.
That's the one. That's the one I've got. So that's pretty much it.
Exactly right. So Montreal in the second spot, they both have 100 points, Montreal and Buffalo, but because Montreal has played 76 and Buffalo's played 77. But the whole point of this discussion was that Carolina's got 104, Tampa's 102, Montreal and Buffalo have 100. So the winner of the Atlantic Division, if Carolina can stay ahead of them now, the winner of the Atlantic's going to get Boston. And if I'm Carolina, I don't want anything to do with Boston. I think the Boston Bruins are a really good team. They're one of the best teams in the league at home. They have a better home record than the Carolina Hurricanes do. They are, I think they're a really good team. And that's not to say that Ottawa isn't a good team, or, Philadelphia or Detroit or Columbus, or the Islanders. But I think Carolina would take any of those teams over the Boston Bruins. So there's a little bit of incentive for the Carolina Hurricanes to play better and win this game and make sure that they stay ahead, because if they do, they will get whoever the second wild card is, and they won't get Boston. Not that every player is thinking about that right now, but I think the coaching staff is. I would really believe that the Boston Bruins are a better team, than any of the teams, Ottawa, Philly, Detroit, Columbus. Boston's better than any of those teams. So you don't want to face that team. So there's incentive for Carolina here tonight to try and kind of expand that gap. The Philadelphia Flyers continue to lead Boston 1-0 with 12:29 to go in the second period. And like I said, if that holds, then that means Philly would go up into that third metropolitan spot. The Islanders would fall back, and Ottawa would temporarily fall out of the playoffs unless they got a point, and then they would usurp the Islanders and push them down a little bit more. So still a lot can change here with the games that are going on. And then you look over in the West, and it was a big win by the Nashville Predators over the San Jose Sharks in San Jose last night. So the Preds are up into that second wild card in the West. And how about the 7-6 overtime victory for the LA Kings over the Toronto Maple Leafs? Entertaining, yes. I'm sure the Kings were not happy, but they found a way after Nylander whiffs on a breakaway, literally whiffed on the puck. It goes the other way, and Quentin Byfield scores the winner. So the Kings also have 81 points. Nashville percentage points ahead of them, but they've both played 76 games. They both have 81 points. So, and San Jose still with a game in hand have 79. And I'm also looking at the Jets to see if they can try to get up in there. I still think it's going to be tight. They might have to run the table, but I still think Winnipeg's got a chance as well. So I love the fact that things change so drastically. Like there's 2, 3, 4 things. There's a coach fired, Zach. There's teams in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs. They're back in every day. And the season ends in 11 days from now. Next Wednesday is the last day of the regular season. So that is coming very, very quickly. All right. Well, let's get into prediction time. Looking forward to this one, Zach. The Carolina Hurricanes, a tough turnaround after beating the Islanders yesterday, getting into Ottawa very late last night in a 5:00 start. Ottawa, got off the ice at, pretty much 3:45 yesterday, and then went back to their homes and now on the ice at 5. So a little bit more of a rest for them. But what do you expect here this afternoon? Early evening or late afternoon? Late afternoon game here in Ottawa.
I think it's going to be, if the Wild were tough yesterday, I think it's going to continue to be tough today for the Sens. We saw with that Wild game, it was 4-1 for the Wild. I think the Sens will come back out stronger. I think they know that they have to come out stronger to start off the game, but I am going to pick Carolina to get the victory here. I think that's just a strong team. And while, yes, they have a short turnaround, I think that's still a really good hockey team that's coming into Ottawa. And I'm going to say a score of, I think the Sens will get some goals on, but I think it's going to be like 2 goals on. I'm hovering around a 5-2 score for the Hurricanes.
Well, you took my score literally as I had it. So I will go one. I will go one less and say it's a 4-2 Carolina. The big problem to me is, yes, Jake Sanderson is back, but I mean, even with Tyler Kleven, right, you still have Lassie Thompson on the ice. Jordan Spence played so much. We talk about Jordan Spence somehow like he's Thomas Chabot now. But he's not, and that's nothing against him. I think Artem Zub has looked just okay in the last little bit. I don't think he's looked fantastic. They all look tired to me. And I don't blame them. They look tired. And I think they got a defense core that's really not experienced and also have played a ton of minutes. And then you got Jake Sanderson on a back-to-back. I think it's just a defense core that Carolina is going to be able to take advantage of. I'm going to go 4-2 as well. But this Ottawa team has been funny where you sometimes, every time you expect one thing, they come out and they look great when you don't think they're going to look great. And then when you think they're going to look awesome, they look terrible. So again, I don't really know based on like that logic, but I would say, I think I got a pretty good handle on Carolina. If Carolina cares at all in this game, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for the Ottawa Senators. So we'll see how it goes. Enjoy the game. Zach, thanks for like a quick little pinch hit from the secret, what'd you call it? The secret
I call it the secret headquarters here in
secret
here
headquarters
in
in Ottawa.
Yep.
Well, I mean, secret if you're not talking to me. I know where you are. And I can tell
Yep.
everyone where you are. So, but I will not do that.
There you go.
So thanks very much. And if you see me struggling on the post game show, at least get in the chat, okay?
Okay. I'll do my best. I'll try and sneak into the chat later on and maybe put in a couple of comments in the chat and hopefully goes. I was just going to ask if you had somebody for the post game show, but
oh no, you're going out. You're like you've been good, but it's Easter Sunday, and then right in the middle of kind of dinner time. Game's gonna end at like 7:30.
Yep.
Hey, if
I read today that apparently it's the first home game that the Sens have played on Easter Sunday ever.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It can't be a good draw.
No.
Today, and I think Ottawa's really lucky that they're like right on the cusp of a playoff spot, and every game means so much right now. If this team was like in already or like way out, this game would draw flies today on a late afternoon Easter Sunday. But they might be okay depending because it means a lot, right?
Yeah.
And people want to go. So, but we'll figure it out. But thanks very much. We'll talk to you and enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday. Safe ride back to Bell Vegas.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that we'll talk to you during the week because now I know, number one, you pick up the bat phone, and number two, you really got nothing going on in Bell Vegas anymore. Everything's just kind of shut down, from the Belleville Sens to Trenton to like Skyhawks haven't started yet. Like this is OSN time, baby.
That's right. This is very weird. I'm not gonna lie. This is very weird. I'm like, I guess I have time to work with. You want to talk some hockey? I'll talk some hockey. You want to talk
exactly.
wrestling? I'll talk some wrestling. I've got some time now. So,
well, that's good for the OSN brand. I can tell you that. More Zach McGibbon, the better. But thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy the game, and we will be back on This Is Overtime. We appreciate you listening to the pregame show, especially on an Easter Sunday afternoon here on OSN.